So recently I saw this picture on Twitter. It was like this meme that was like a bell curve, and on the far left it said, "Will I ever cook again?" In the middle it said like 2 to 3 weeks of uninterrupted artistic peak, and then the far right side, the next trough said, "Will I ever cook again?" And this is like the most honest meme I've seen in quite a while. It's right up there with the two cakes one of like what the artist sees, oh, that cake's better than mine. What the viewer sees, oh, great, 2 cakes. And frankly, probably that Sonic one that says, "Don't ever trust your thoughts about your life after 9 p.m. Life-changing memes, am I right? And I feel like this one's part of that canon. So today I want to talk about artistic highs, because we all go through these periods as creatives where you have this long streak. I don't know how long it is, but for me, I've experienced it for months at a time, where you just feel like you are at the top of your game, creating the best content, the best creations you've ever done, and you keep outdoing yourself and you keep succeeding, and then you reach this trough where all of a sudden that motivation or whatever just kind of leaves you for a little bit, and it just leaves you in a place of, oh, was all of that luck, or I don't have the energy to keep that up, so like, should I even keep trying? And the answer is yes, because you can't sit around and wait for motivation to come to you. What you have to do is just do what you want to do, or know you have to do, and eventually the motivation will jumpstart. Because here's the thing, if you wait for motivation to come to you, what's going to happen is you are going to be just in a rut for a super long time waiting for it, because you're only going to work maybe 1 day a week for a while. And if you just push yourself to do something regardless, you're at least doing something, and you can always repair it later if you're not happy with how that turned out. You can always change it, right? But then at least you have something to go off of. What I've started to do is make a pipeline, like a visual pipeline for myself, so that I can look at the progress on each of like my projects I'm working on, each of these videos, and see how far along they are. And there's like a little it's basically a progress meter I can watch in live time, essentially, that I update as I'm progressing through a video, so I can see if I'm not feeling one project and I still need to push myself to work on something. I can look at where I am on these other ones and be like, okay, here, I can push this one a little bit further. And then I feel not only like I'm actually getting things done, but I feel extra productive because I see all that I'm getting done across multiple projects. So it also makes me feel or understand in my own mind that I'm also doing and producing much more than I was previously. I think there's probably also like an onset people end up conditioning themselves to, where they're nervous when they're experiencing like massive artistic highs. They're like, oh gosh, it's all gonna come crashing down soon. And I've experienced that too, but I want to assure you, you're going to come back. You are going to bounce back. Now, there is undoubtedly a point you're going to peak artistically. That's just the very nature of being, right? There's always going to be a top peak and a lowest trough in anything you do, right? So why not enjoy the high and just ride it out? Ride it out for as long as you can, and then once you feel that go away, don't stop creating. What you should instead do is, like I said, keep creating regardless. Push yourself to make a little bit of progress on whatever project it is you're working on today. It does not have to be the same thing you're working on until it's completed. Work a little bit on this thing, a little bit on this thing, a lot of it on this thing. The moment you're gonna really start truly feeling awful about where you are artistically after you slump from that high is going to be when you full stop grind to a halt and are not doing anything. That's when you're going to feel your worst. So I'm not going to say you're not going to feel bad ever in this process, but what I want to say is you can at least minimize that damage that does to you for the time being and keep creating, and that way you not only minimize the bad feelings, but you also increase your productivity. It's about building up a little bit at a time. Do a little bit each day working on something. Don't let yourself completely fall victim to imposter syndrome, because all that's going to do is impede you. And if you feel in that moment like, oh, it's all a fluke, I got here in the first place, it's not going to help you if you're not doing anything to prove that that's not the case to yourself. Anyway, I'm sorry that this series just kind of disappeared for a couple weeks there. I'm going to be honest, I just kind of frankly ran out of ideas for it. If you have any other things you want to hear about, let me know. I posted a community post yesterday asking if you guys would be interested in seeing like making of videos essentially for the main channel videos, which a lot of you seemed very interested in, so I might start doing that in the nearest future here. And also, bigger one, if you have other things you want to hear me talk about in relation to these artistic topics, let me know so that I can actually keep producing these. Alright, thank you all for watching. See you guys later.